Hey folks, this is the WooFDriver coming at you live from what we call the big farm, and I've got a guest with me today, the little Gigi Meister. So you'll have to excuse me for a sec. I got to let the dogs out. I'll be off camera, and we're gonna get this party started. Okay. For those of you that don't know me, I run my pack of dogs. Princess just got released out of the van, and it's going to take me a second here to get situated, so I apologize. Come on, guys. Jag, I'll be right with you. Getting a live view now. So, and I'll tell you what's going on in about 30 seconds. I'm just setting up. I have a GPS controller which keeps track of the dogs when we're out in the field like this, on their activity level as well as where they're at. And I'm just making sure that's working, setting it up, and here we go, folks. So, once again, I'm the WooFDriver, and actually to the left, I don't know if I'll turn the camera over so you can see. A bunch of cows and some babies there too. Beautiful, some calves. This farm, this is a working farm, and we're probably, looks like, gonna run into some of the farmers' hands doing some of the farming work around here, harvesting some of the hay, it looks like, as I look ahead in the distance. So sorry, got a couple dogs taking a couple pit stops here. The dogs are off leash. There are no barriers except for my voice, and of course there's fencing around some of the pastures that we go by, but the farm's pretty wide open. We are going to do probably anywhere from 3 to 6 miles. Again, they're off leash. Sometimes you might tune in on the WooFDriver channel. I haven't been on lately, but I'll run the dogs on what looks like go-karts. They're or dog carts, if you will, but they actually run on the side instead of running traditionally like a sled dog does. It runs behind. They were just groomed. You are right, Dixie. Actually, we have been doing some intense grooming because they're blowing their coat. And they all, when I say blowing their coat, their undercoat, that is. The double-haired dogs lose their undercoat in the warmer weather. Actually, usually in the springtime when it starts to get warm, and in the fall, they'll lose more of it, and then they'll get ready to build their thick coats. Good to see you, Dixie, by the way. I hope everybody can hear me well. Okay, so that's Chase that just went in front. These dogs, so everybody knows, they're roughly 8 years old, except for Princess, who's 13 and a half. So she's got some experience on her, as I like to say, and she's amazing. Because of our highly active lifestyle, I do a lot of adventuring with the dogs, in case you're not familiar with me. They get a lot of exercise, and it really helps keep them fit. Most importantly, of course, for their physical health, but their mental health. These dogs are really high-strung. They're huskies. Zara, the dark one right in front that you're looking at now, has some Malamute in them as well. Come on, Jag! So, you can see to my left, there's heavy cornfields, and it's starting to rise, the corn. It was probably planted about a month and a half ago, and it'll get a lot taller than it is, but it's starting to get to a height that I could lose the dogs in, essentially. So, hence the use of the GPS collar that I'm talking about. Now, they're actually wearing two collars, two GPS collars. One is a new product called Link AKC, and Link AKC is more to keep track of them when you're at your house, maybe. We have some different fenced-in yards, and one of them includes an invisible fence. So, not that they get out of it, but I'd like to know what part of the yard the dogs are in sometimes when they have access to the whole house yard. Sometimes we have them cut up, as I said, in different yards. But it gives me an idea. And should one pierce the bounds, I would know about it. That's never happened, but not to say that it couldn't. Come on, guys. So right behind me now, here comes Jag, and here comes Princess. Now, you're seeing only 2 dogs. Actually, you're seeing 3 dogs now, because Princess is behind now. So Jag was behind, and he's come forward, as you see. So this is what I call kind of utopia, because the dogs can run, again, free anywhere they'd like. It's warm today, and being warm is where we want to take it easy, relatively speaking, in the sense that we could still do our run, but I'm always move at the dog's pace, so they're going to move at a slower pace in the warmer weather. Plus, I get them plenty of access to water, which is really nice. There's water all over this place. And I do, as I said, I have a special guest with me, and that's Gigi. I can't really point the camera at her now, but I will soon. She's our 10-pound Chinese crested, maybe 12-pound now. And she's about 1.5 years old. If you're not familiar with the Chinese crested, she's actually hairless. So there's different strains of them, maybe I could say, where some are hairless, some are all the way hairless. She looks more like a pony, they're called. She's a hairy hairless. But there's a full hairless, and then there's a puff, which is actually fully covered. Looks a little more like a terrier, if you will. But they're an unusual looking dog, an unusual breed. And we had another one who's since crossed Rainbow Bridge. Here comes Zorro. And she was about 6 pounds. The Gigi was really precious, she is. So thanks, Dixie. And I hope to give you a view of her. I'm not holding the camera. The camera's mounted because I'm doing so many things I'm in an ATV, by the way, and I'll give you a view of that. But I'm doing so many things, watching all the dogs, keeping an eye on Gigi that's next to me, and looking out for the farm equipment and anything else we might run into. Again, this is kind of like Call of the Wild. So there's wild animals out here besides the cows you saw, and there's Clydesdale horses. There's a little bit of everything going on up here, and we've run into it. Now, the farm animals are pretty much contained. Sometimes I'll have to cross through the pasture to get to the different areas that we access, and we'll mingle a little with the cows. Pretty cool, actually. I've taught the dogs, the wolf pack as I call them, how to behave appropriately. And now you've got all 4 dogs in view finally. So Princess has caught up to us. She was behind for a couple reasons. She was, and Jag falls behind a lot. Just catching on to different scents, enjoying her time individually, as well as sometimes she'll fall behind because of her age. And Jag is not older. He, again, is 8 years old like the rest of the boys. But he conserves his energy. He just runs. Different things motivate different dogs. So, and that's the whole key with all this dog exercise that I do. Come on, guys. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Here. Come on. Free. Come on. Here. Good girl. So sometimes just there. Oh, you didn't see that. I'm sorry. That was off camera. They were just catching up on a scent that they were really interested in. And when they huddle around sometimes, I just like to keep them going. Now, I do like to let them, as I say, go at their own pace. But when they get too close for comfort with each other, sometimes I'll rein them in just because I don't want them getting into a little bit of a shoving match. And sometimes they can get into a little tiff because of that. And that all has to do with the hierarchy of a wolf pack. That's where they get that from. Dogs are descendants of wolves. So, and this breed is one of the closest to the wolves. Comes Zorro cruising through here. Now, again, this is a farm of about 500 acres. So I'm gonna, I don't know everything. I don't own this farm. I come here, I've worked a deal with the farmer, and I have to, obviously, which I do, respect everything going on here. So I'm a guest, and sometimes there'll be, not frequently, but the farmer might be with his dogs, there might be a horseback rider, there's a couple of some of the farm hands, the people that work this farm, live on different areas of it, so I have to be cognizant of them and their families, etc. So this is cool, because straight up ahead they've done they've harvested the hay. So you're seeing bales of hay. If you can see that far, I don't know if you can. I could sometimes zoom in on this thing, but I actually hear them working. So that's why I thought they were baling the hay. Come on, guys. And there's a lot of holes here. And what I mean by holes, a lot of deep ones. There's groundhogs all over this place. So we just want to be cognizant for the equipment and for the dogs. The dogs will recognize it and put their nose in and try to see what's going on, whereas the equipment, and sometimes horses and cows, can actually injure themselves quite intensely. If you can see this now, Gigi's getting in my lap. So she's really funny. She's such a cute little dog because she... that's just of her size and her nature. Chinese Cresteds are a great breed. They're very, how can I say it, dependent. They love company. They don't like being left alone. And that's why she's with me, actually. She's usually with my wife, and my wife couldn't be with her today. So I'm with her. I take her with me. I don't like to leave her alone if I can help it. So the rest of the gang is behind me. And actually, if I could, I can't give you a view yet. We're working up here. It's so cool to see. Really well, whereas Zorro will blend in depending on how the sun's hitting. You might not even see him, especially when we get into the woods, but the white dogs always stick out. So I'm going to catch up a little bit. I'm going to go a little faster and try to turn this puppy around, no pun intended there, folks, so you can have a view of the dogs doing their run. And let me just turn this around. So there's where we came from, folks. And you can see them. Good boys, come on. So that's Jag out in front, and Chase and Princess. Now, Chase is on the right of. So if you saw him in a distance, which I've run into people at these areas. Come on, guys. They think I'm running wolves sometimes. That's why I call myself the WooFDriver. No pun intended there. So we do have what appears to be workers. I'm just going to proceed cautiously in case there's any other dogs, because a lot of dogs will get excited that don't know us when they see 4 or even 5, because I have Gigi with me. Dogs at one time will be like, whoa. There is a little bit of things going on here. The old trucks and stuff you'll see in the woods that they kind of discard. That's what goes on the farm. They let it return to earth, if you will. It does rust out and everything, and you know, that's the way they do it on these farms. I've learned a lot coming to the different farms. We roam about 5 different farm areas. So we do different activities. Most of the time we're free ranging, which is where they're off leash. Some of the times we have one place we go where we have amazing chase. It's a lure coursing. Lure coursing is a dog sport, and I go more into that on greater detail on my website, WooFDriver.com. I've explained it quite a few times, and it's pretty interesting stuff. Come on, guys. So you get the 3 here. And there's all kinds of trails. You'll see the woods on my right, folks. There's all kinds of trails here that we can access if we want. Virtually nothing's off limits here, which is, again, utopia for us. It's really cool. So Gigi's on the edge of the ATV now. By the way, she's kind of leashed in with her harness, so she can't get out, essentially. And she doesn't really want to. She enjoys watching the big dogs do their thing. She's a little small for this. I've trained all the dogs off leash. Her Jag is taking a roll. And I'll give you a little close-up of him. He's so funny. And there comes Chase. And what they do here is they try to find a fail odor to roll into. They do that a lot because they want to disguise themselves. That's how they would do it. It's instinctual. So out in the wild, if they were wild dogs or their ancestors, the wolves, they would be able to be in camouflage essentially for hunting purposes. Their prey, that what they hunt upon, wouldn't be able to detect them as easily. So I'll be able to, and that's behind him is Chase. There goes Chase doing a roll. Look at that. And they also do it to remove loose fur, scratch their back, etc. And that's more what they're doing here. There's no failures. There goes Zorro. So you got 3 in a row. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. And you can see his tongue hanging over the side. We like to say that that's how a dog smiles. That's about the closest thing you can get to a smile out of a dog, besides actually seeing them move their lips, which is few and far between. So when they have the tongue to the side, they're really content with what they're doing and how they're feeling. Now to the right, I'm keeping since they're all in view right now, I'm going to keep the camera where it is. Well, actually two of them now. To the right is Princess and now Chase. Princess is just eating some grass. Kind of a interesting concept, why dogs eat grass. There's many things have been written about that. What I find, they do it usually to make themselves regurgitate in some way. Doesn't mean they're feeling bad. They're cleaning their I guess, stomach in some way. Usually it's not a bad thing. And if your dog does it frequently, my dog does it, Princess does it fairly frequently, it's, to me, has never been a real sign of anything bad. So a lot of veterinarians, from my understanding, don't really know the full reason why. It's just something instinctual they do. But let me try to move. Now I'm going to try to spin the camera so give you a better view of everything, and I'll give you a shot of Gigi in a little while. Okay, so you got all 4 dogs. So we're stopping. We're in the shade now, taking a breather under with a cool breeze going. Well, a cool summer breeze, that is. Giving us some good hair movement on the dogs and giving us some airflow. Gigi's comfortable. She's with me in the ATV. And you don't hear the ATV. People ask me sometimes, how come we don't hear it? Because it's electric. And that's by design. Actually, that's the only kind of ATVs I free range with the dogs for, because it enables me to hear them. And also, on these working farms, to hear anything that might be coming behind us or near us, or it's going to cross our path. Usually equipment. So I can take caution and take the appropriate measures and get the dogs out of the way. Now, all the people that work these farms know what I do, so they have that in the back of their mind, but I never like to hold anybody up, and I always like to be as safe as possible. So anytime I can recognize a problem, that's what I do, or an issue. So real quick, folks, while the dogs are meandering, I'm going to try to give you a Gigi shot. Let's see. She's... Gigi. Let me try to get her for you. She's a little bit below the seat. Can you stand up and say hi to everybody? So that's the Gigi Meister. You can see she looks like a pony with her hair on her head and on her paws. Her body's shaven. Now, she does grow a little bit of hair. Most people that have this breed, they shave it because it's not really enough to really cover them and make a difference. And she's got a mane. Looks like a little pony, essentially. So that's the Gigi girl. And I'm going to turn the camera back around just to give you a view of the boys. And girl, Princess. Hi there, Taylor. Yes, that sounds really good. And I know what you're saying, that when I first started, Taylor was explaining how she would love to have the room to free range. She's got her dog well trained. He comes back to a dog whistle, etc., or him or her, I'm not sure. And that's how this essentially started with me. I trained the dogs. I actually learned from a Schutzen trainer. Schutzen's protection dog, what they train military and police dogs with. And he trained my dogs. He'd been doing it for years. The gentleman now is close to 70. He's probably 50. Did this about 20 years ago I started. And we taught my dogs, Huskies are a really hard breed to have off leash. Pretty much anyone that has had a Husky or that has a Husky will tell you never let them off leash, because they're not trustworthy in the sense that they're very aloof. They'll pick up on a scent, they'll get a feeling, and they'll take off and they won't respond. And food motivation is not really an option for them. You can't train them like that. Almost anything else comes into play out in the field, and food is low on the totem pole to what they'll come for. So through working with my master trainer and learning from him, we were able to train these guys, well, actually other dogs I had at the time, to respond to off-leash work. And it was so successful that I said, you know what, I'd really like to be able to take them to bigger areas because they need so much exercise. And the places we were going, schools, after hours, and parks, you know, when they weren't crowded and areas we could take them off leash, just didn't have the room to do it. So I got this idea that maybe I would contact some farmers and see, hey, can I bring the dogs and pretty much free range your farm? And there weren't too many that were too apt to that. So I had to network myself and find contacts, people I knew that knew farmers and or people with large masses of land that would let me do this. And they would have to have a good rapport because it would have to be someone that could vouch for me and would know the farmer well enough to ask him. And believe it or not, I've found about, like I said, 4 or 5 places that I'm able to do this at because of networking myself with the people I know, building a reputation, and quite frankly, just being respectful. So that has gained me this access. These places I go, this one is one of the biggest. This is about 500 acres. It used to be more. You'll see a few houses that actually border this farm. That belonged to the family. It was sold off maybe a generation ago. And the current gentleman that owns it wasn't really happy about that because I think this place might have been 1,000 acres at the time. So, but 500 is plenty for us. We can usually comfortably do 5 to 10 miles without it getting redundant. I can have full access to it. I choose to go in about 90% of it. There's a area that's closer to the road and where the farmer himself resides, and the Clydesdale horses, who are his babies, all reside. So what I do is, hey Taylor, I hear you, Taylor. Taylor wants to know if I'll adopt. You know, this is the best way to do this because I couldn't afford to own all this land, but even if I could, I would have to then have the means to maintain it, which just grass cutting and maintaining everything that happens on it is almost cost prohibitive for me. So I get the best of all worlds by being able to come here. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. Yeah, everything's been great. It's tough sometimes broadcasting what we do all the time. I love to do it, but I'm still out there very active with the dogs, but it's hard to do all the time. I say this all the time, make an effort to do it more. So the dogs are getting a little restless now, so I'm going to start going. I'm going to turn the camera back a little more towards the center, and I'll continue on my conversation. Kimberly, good to see you. Great to see you. I didn't get to read your comment just about your first husky, and I hope to read it soon. Oh, there it goes. Now I said we're going to go, and their chase just drops down. We are at the place I call the big farm, the 500 acres that we go to, and I was just explaining how convenient this is for me to be here because I don't have to maintain this land. I can just kind of use it to the extent that I do and not worry about cutting grass and upkeep on it. So it's really a win-win for me. And I'm going to straighten this camera. Now I do see them working over there, so I'm just going to straighten that so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the conversation at hand, which, yep, we've been, come on guys, free, Zara. Okay, so I see the gentleman coming over here with the ATV because they were baling hay. Come on, Jag. So we're going to start rolling. Thanks, Kathleen. Yeah, it's really nice. It's hot today, very humid. So we're just taking our time, but the dogs need their exercise. And I hadn't broadcast. We did a run the other night, actually a beautiful place we'd never been to. In the summer, we usually go at night because it enables us the opportunity to keep our exercise going. Whereas you can imagine during the day, it's too hot to run on the bike. Doing the free ranging, like here at the farm, it's okay because there's areas we can access the water and the dogs can more move at their own pace. Here. Good boys. Now, when I say here, stay, good boys. They usually come to me, but I'm just going to let them stop where they're at. That's why I'm not keep saying it. Stay, guys, because as you can see, one of the farmers is going by in the ATV. And I just didn't want to get in his way. And the dogs are trained to follow the ATV, so if I didn't command them, they might think, hey, we're going to follow him. You can see his was a gas-powered one. You might have been able to hear that. I'm not sure. That's because, obviously, gasoline motors are noisier than electric motors. And again, the electric enables me to talk to the dogs as well as to listen for them and other hazards that might be coming up. So right here we do a big U-turn, and we're going to go down the other part of the field. Come on, guys. So I got some really exciting stuff coming while I have everyone on the channel. Really cool stuff. I don't know if you know this, but I'm really into pioneer new ways of doing things, whether it's in the dog training or the technology world or whatever. And I'm pushing the envelope sometimes, but we've actually made a little WooFDriver studio where I'm going to be able to broadcast a lot more than I have and be able to have a little bit more intimate conversations where we won't have to worry about dropping signal. Come on, guys. Yeah, they're all behind me now. Dropping signal and not coming in clear, etc. In the WooFDriver studio, we're going to address a lot of different issues, from training to dog motivation to even people motivation. I'm a martial artist, pretty much a lifelong martial artist, and I've learned so much that has helped me with my dog training and my everyday living that I'd love to share it in a lot of different capacities. I've taught it for a long time as well, so we won't be teaching it, but just the psychological and mental side, which is all part of everyday life. So good boys. Now, so they're all three behind me, and good girl. Can't forget Princess. Yep, Princess is doing great. On the dog rides, I'm starting to retire her from running with the bike. I've got her running with the scooter. She does about 5 miles on neighborhood runs, but when we get out to the longer runs, she's just not enjoying it as much. So what we're doing is, sometimes she's riding the bike, sometimes she's staying in the truck. We get her a few miles and then we're putting her up in the truck. So we're doing different things with her, but it's important that she maintains her exercise because it keeps the mobility in her joints and in her muscles. Keeps them toned. Boy, Chase. So you can see I'm coming upon the farm equipment that they use on this farm where they were baling hay, and actually, I guess that's how they till the fields. It's part of the tilling equipment where they churn them up and get ready to plant them. Some of these fields, we're still in the beginning of the, I guess, the summer crops. So I believe they're still planting corn. And corn is a big Maryland commodity here. A lot of it's grown here, especially the Silver Queen, from what I understand. I mean, I love Silver Queen corn, which is the sweet white corn. Okay, and here comes Zara. So they're doing really good. And Princess, because of her age, I mean, she just amazes me every day. Come on, guys. And here they all are, actually, Jags. Coming now, he had to stop and mark an area. Come on, guys. No. Good boy. This water, this is underground springs here, so it's okay for them to drink. I don't know if you caught them. I've got something called Be Gross, and it's not really gross, but it's Be Gross is for blue, green, rusty, orange, and stagnant, still water, which means don't let your dogs access it, because there's too many unknowns of water in those conditions that could harm your dog or any livestock, or be potentially even fatal. So and there's many reasons for it. I mean, in the summer you get, I'm going to see if I can go down the left of this field or if it's planted. Actually, looks like it's planted, so we're not going to be able to do that. So this, when I say Be Gross water, I refer to it because we adventuring run into, and that's my acronym, we run into so many different water conditions. Even water that's sometimes safe to drink can become toxic because of high temperatures, the sun beating on it, algae plumes, etc. That's why sometimes you see fish killed. There's tons of corn and beans here. Winter wheat they grow. Easy, guys, easy. So I got to catch up to them because there's a fair amount of groundhogs down here. So I just want to be on alert. Good girl, Princess. Good boys. So I've got 3 of them in front of me, and Princess is trucking the field behind me. You can see we're entering the woods now, folks. The woods here are a great place to ride because, of course, it's cool, but it's very, very, very bumpy. And it's fun. I mean, I enjoy this. And the challenge for the dogs is absolutely awesome. So I'm just going through some sticker areas, and I got to be cognizant as Gigi's on board today. Okay, I'm going to let Princess pass me. Easy, guys. So they're ahead of me now, and they'll get down to the stream, and they'll actually stop down there because that's our stopping area. I can track them on the GPS controller if I need to, but right now there's no need for it. Like if I would hear them barking, that means there's something down here, and I would look on the controller to make sure they're all 3 there, because I can see Princess, she's right in front of me. So sometimes we'll come through here, good boys, and I just let them know the pack daddy's in the house. I have to give them a whistle sometimes or make some noise. Again, these are all private lands, so I don't really have to worry about anyone being back here that shouldn't be here or would not be cognizant of the dogs, because everybody here knows what I do. There are some neighboring farms. Now, this is going to be so cool. I can see Chase right there. So I just heard, I had to listen closely because there was actually a plane in the air, and I thought maybe, excuse me. You can see him. See how Princess just laid down? She does that to cool her underside. I'll give you a better view of that. Hopefully you can still hear me now, folks. This is a little bit back in the woods, so, oops, I just sat on Gigi's water bowl. Okay, Gigi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Gigi access to the water here. You'll see us on camera in 1 sec. As this gets her off the ATV for a couple minutes, lets her stretch. She walked with me to where I parked the ATV. Is not where I parked my van. So she took a walk with me to get it. And I do that again because I try to stay away from the front of the farm. Ooh, her attachment's got a little tangled up. So I'm going to work on these for a sec. There we go. 1. And here's 2. Hopefully you can still hear me, folks. Okay, good girl. Okay. And here's the Gigi Meister. She's coming on. So, Chase is way down to the right, but he's still in sight. Oh, there's a lot of little stream bugs, I call them. Getting their paws wet is the most essential thing for me, and obviously the first place that'll touch the water, because obviously their paws don't have hair on them, well, their pads, I should say, because they don't have hair, so they emit a lot of heat through there. They almost sweat through there, but not really a cooling sweat. But it's a great place to cool them down. Chase! Chase! Good boy. So Zara's ready to go. That's why he's up there. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. I'm wearing this thing because I can see the camera and what it's broadcasting. Come on, Chase! Chase! So again, the dogs, now you see the antennas. That's part of the GPS training system that I use and tracking system. See, Gigi's having fun here. Gigi's not off leash, not because she can't be trained for it, but because she's too small and there's too many elements, too many things she can get in trouble with. And her wolf pack will protect her. But, good boy, Chase. Good boy, Chase. It can happen so quick, something could come in contact with her that it could be detrimental before they could protect her. Chase, Chase. I'm not just mentioning his name. He's sniffing her. He's fine with her. They all mingle together and play. But Out here, it's a little different, and I want to let him know, be gentle, be easy, let her have her freedom too. And don't be all up in her grill, is what I'm saying. So the other dogs went to that part of the stream. There's a little outcrop, if you will. They like to go over there and sniff. We've been kind of loud. We've been here for a little bit, so I don't think they'll run into any animals. So, but sometimes you'll hear me raise my voice, and I'm doing that, excuse me, not so much for the dogs, but more to let other animals know that we're in the house too, so they get the heck out of Dodge. Huskies are not usually, they're very prey driven, and small animals they usually look at as prey, so that's why I want to keep them in check. By the way, on the WooFDriver Studio, when we're able to set that up, I'm going to show all the shirts. This is the Poetry shirt. It's the same on front and back, and I know it's a little hard to see now. Poetry is one of the websites that I've built and created that's all about dog poetry. From activities I do with the dogs to many other people's contributions. It's pretty cool. Love the logo and the shirt, and that's why we made it into a shirt. And I've become a little famous for printing all these shirts all over. They're called all over print shirts. Jag, good boy. See, and I usually say his name once or twice, and he knows what I'm talking about. Ooh, excuse me. Air's pretty thick here, so just get me a little allergy, get me a little choked up. Kind of cool how we all huddle around here, and they understand. Stick around here, don't meander too far. They know the rules, basically, from the training. So I can see they're starting to get a little antsier. Princess is comfortable, but I'm going to put Gigi up and get ready so we can just roll out when the Princess decides she wants to. She's there. She knew it too. And what I do is, if you saw me earlier, Gigi's attached in here pretty securely, obviously. Come here, good girl. Good girl. So, now we're going to go through an area, folks. It's going to be a little bit harder to, I know I lose sometimes reception there. It's frustrating, I know, for everybody. Hopefully it'll hold a signal and you can get the full view of our riding in the woods. Come on, guys. Princess, now. Come on. Jag. Come on, good girl. Some people ask me, how do you keep the dogs with you? Sometimes it's hard to get them to go. Come on, guys. So, once I make a move and start heading in a certain direction, they'll come along. Princess, Chase, let's go. Chase. Princess, stay. Excuse me. No. Princess. Come on, guys. Good boy. So what's happening there in between, so I can breathe a little bit, sorry. They were caught on a scent, and sometimes they'll try to, as I said before, claim that scent. Sorry, someone just posted, I couldn't catch the name. The way I'm broadcasting, it's hard to read everything. Come on, Princess, at one time. So I apologize if I don't get to your comment, but I will address it later in the broadcast or at a future broadcast or post up there directly. Come on, Princess. So she's just in a scent here. So that's why she's, come on, let's go, let's go. Good girl. That's why she's dragging behind. Come on, let's go. Good girl. And the rest of the guys, there's another place up ahead. Come on, Princess. She's just marking it. Sorry folks, just navigating through some sticker bushes so we don't get tangled up in it, me and Gigi. In the ATV here, the dogs can move around them at their own free will. Wow. I am so sorry. So we got a tree down here. Come on, Jack. 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 And you can see what I'll do is, this is a little bit for training. I'm going to try to, Kimberly's asking me how to find some good trainers. And what I'm going to do is try to post what because, come on, for instance, a lot of trainers are food motivational trainers, and that just does not work with Huskies at all, as I've said before, because they'll laugh at that when you're out doing, especially something like this. It ain't gonna work. So you have to have a better way of training them, which, excuse me, my system works, but obviously I'm not there to do it for you. But there's very effective ways of training a Husky to get the behavior out of them that you would prefer. Other dogs will give it to you easier than the Husky. Again, the Husky's just a really challenging breed because of their wolf-like ways, as I like to say it. They've got that, their instinct and their drive just floors them. You can see them driving. You can see them digging through here. How cool is this? Again, it's really hard out there. Now we're going to stop here for a sec. You can see there's a nice cut. I don't know if you can see that in the, yeah, you can. A nice cut for the stream that gives a nice embankment for the dogs to run up. It's a little challenging from the climb. They've gone to the left. That's actually Jag you're looking at now. And he's just eating some grass and brush under there. Here comes Zorro. And Chase is about to come back into view. See, just this meandering through the stream is really good exercise for him. When I talk about the cutout, how the bank of the stream, just climbing that, especially Princess, it's really challenging at her age, and it works them well. And it's the kind of rugged environment that these dogs thrive in. Really quiet back here. And Gigi's so cool. She's just really enjoying the view. Doesn't want to get out. She's not trying to so we're almost with her 24 hours a day, someone from the family. Whereas the Huskies are not that dependent. They're very independent. A little bit of the opposite there. And that's why they're so hard to contain in a yard. People get Huskies and put them in the yard and think that that's going to be good for them. I mean, I really don't care how big your yard is. It's usually not going to be not even near enough exercise or psychological stimulation that they need. So that's why they take off and look for it elsewhere. Come on, guys. I'm not, and believe me, through all this, I know a lot of your Husky owners out there. Yep, new challenges, exactly. That's the best thing. When you can challenge, I see Zara just leap that embankment. It was so cool. I love watching their physical fitness because it's truly remarkable. Come on, Jack. And see, this is muddy back here, and the incline and tree roots, I don't know if you can see them across where I'm about to head, is a challenge for the ATV. So just imagine the dogs, they can do a lot better than this thing. I got to put the four-wheel drive on, and I've got to get some speed up. And most importantly, I got to hold on to Gigi. So before I attempt to go up here, there you go, Kimberly. Before I attempt to go up here, I'm usually going to make sure the dogs are way clear, because I have to kick this thing in the low gear, which means I'm going to need some torque to get some speed, as well as I said, put it in four-wheel drive. Come on, guys. Come on, Chase. See, and Chase, he can move quick when he wants to, so I want to make sure he's well out of the area, and he's pretty... Oh, yeah, he's coming back. And Princess and Zorro are further ahead. Jag is to my left. Come on, Jag. Yeah, I'm going to let them get out up front. You're going to watch me. Sometimes I don't make it up this thing the first time. I mean, it's really... He doesn't look that steep. Come on, guys. Actually, I'm not going to attempt doing that. I'm going to back up because I don't have enough speed. I don't have enough area to create speed. Here we go. Okay, folks. Whoa! Nope, didn't make it. So I'm going to be real fast, super fast about this, because I don't want to catch the dog's attention. If they see me going backwards, because I have to back up to go back over it. Oh, didn't get it again. Way over. Okay, now we're going to zoom it. Here we go, folks. Hang on for dear life. There we go. That's the kind of work it takes. Come on, guys. See how cool? They're just waiting for me. They're content with where they're at, and they respect the freedom that they have, that they don't desire to even go any further or to not be part of the pack here. Good girl, G. Just running over some branches, as you saw there. They like to be together in their pack for the most part. Come on. Let's go. Sounds like I might have some coffee. This ATV, I do abuse. The ATV can access places that other people say to me, well, why do you use an ATV? Why don't you just walk with them? I could never keep up with them, first of all, and never give them the kind of workout they need to access the places they would like to go without the ATV. And I can hear something underneath it. I'm just going to check it real quick. It looks like I don't see anything blaringly wrong. Actually, easy, guys. So they're ahead of me now. And what happened there is, if I stop too long and I call them, they're going to come back to me. Which I didn't want them to do, because I want them to keep going. So here we go. And how cool is that? Look where they're at. It's right up here waiting. Again, enjoying themselves. There's a scent or something up here. Good boys. If you've watched me travel this place in the fall or winter, cooler times, you'll see we go about 10 times the speed we're going now, because obviously it's cooler and the dogs can breathe easier and run quicker. This is just a summer kind of run. So straight up ahead, if you could see far enough in the distance, are the cows in the pasture. There's a lot of baby cows, calves if you will. Looks like they're taking the siesta. They're not feeding. To me, looks like a few of them laying down. Could be a sign of rain. To the left looks like soybean field. So if I can, I'll try to pass the princess here. Nope, she won't let me. Because if I can get out in front, she'll usually go a little quicker. It becomes more competitive for her. Just to kind of keep the pack all together. I give a little whistle just to let them know, keep their pace. They like to go a little faster as we're approaching the farm road down here. There's nobody on the farm road, I can see it, but they know that this is a juncture. Sometimes we go right, sometimes we go left. So they'll wait for me at that juncture, but they like to be the first there. So, Jake. Actually, they figured I was going to the right, so they started to take it. By saying their name, they should stop. Yep, see, even Zorro is getting a little bit closer to the fence, and I'm okay with that. So if I did want to go left, they're still within the range. Come on, Princess. She's looking. A lot of times there's cows. They rehabilitate some of the cows in the field to the right. There's none there now. Sometimes they'll keep the bull there if they want to keep him separate from the cows. Good boys, G. G is a sled dog term, which means to the right. Here's something. I'm going to try to go in reverse, see if I can release whatever's... Yeah, it's a branch underneath. It looks like it. I don't see it here, but... Yep. Yeah, it was a branch. Look at that. Right in the middle. I'm going to go get it. Excuse me for one sec, guys. Stay.